So at the very beginning, we hear of murder. Scripture tells us that Cain invited his brother Abel into the field and attacked him and killed him. So immediately after leaving the Garden of Paradise, we have strife, we have jealousy, we have grievous sin. It seems that the human race is then in a downward spiral. But as we continue to read, God gave Adam and Eve another son, Seth. So from Seth comes a positive branch of the family tree of the human race. And if we trace the lineage of Seth, 7 generations later, we have Noah. Noah was a just man in the midst of all the chaos and turmoil and sinfulness from the lineage of Cain. So there is hope. And ultimately, Jesus will bring us together as a family of God's grace, that we can live together in peace and justice. Cain asks a question: am I my brother's keeper? We can ask that question even today. Is my neighbor, is my brother, is my sister only the ones in my immediate family? Or is my brother and sister and neighbor 1,000 miles away or on the other side of the world? In the mid-1800s, a very, very rich family in Philadelphia went traveling west. They went to South Dakota. They went to New Mexico. And there, one of the daughters saw the desperate conditions of the American Indians. In her own upbringing, her family would go visiting the poor in the neighborhood and bring food. And when Catherine Drexel saw the plight of the American Indians, her heart was moved. She desired to do something for them. They were abandoned. The government promised that they would send teachers, 1 teacher for every 30 students, but that never happened. So she had a desire to reach out to these young children and provide for their education. She felt that they were close to her not only as a neighbor, but as brothers and sisters. She wanted to be her brother's keeper, her sister's keeper. Upon her father's death, she inherited a vast fortune. In today's money, she would be receiving $35,000 a day for the rest of her life. She began to donate to the St. Joseph mission up in South Dakota. And then eventually, she gathered followers together and began a religious order, the Blessed Sacrament Sisters for the American Indians and the African Americans. In her lifetime, she started 49 elementary schools, 9 high schools, and Xavier University. So we could see that she's part of that family tree, that positive part, that good part, from Seth all the way down to Noah, all the way down to Jesus. The part that is compassionate and caring, the part that cares for the neighbor, even if they live thousands of miles away. But as she was doing her good work, there was pushback, there was evil. We can imagine that's from Cain's lineage. When she was ready to open Xavier University in New Orleans, the night before, vandals broke every window of the building. When she wanted to start a school for African American children in Texas, a few days before the opening, a sign was placed at the front door: "Leave town immediately. If not, you will be flogged and tarred and feathered." That was put by the Ku Klux Klan. In the face of that evil, the sisters prayed. And it seems that God intervened, because a few days later, a tremendous thunderstorm came and destroyed the meeting house of the Ku Klux Klan. So in our reading today, we see hope with the birth of Seth. He will be a just man. Each and every one of us are called to be part of that family of God that brings about peace and justice, love and life, that we care about our neighbor. We can never abandon our neighbor. We want to treat them as our brothers and sisters. And that's what Mother Catherine Drexel did. In her religious vows, she promised poverty, chastity, and obedience, but an additional vow to be the mother and servant of the African American children and the American Indian children. So our neighbor is near, our brothers and sisters are near, and our brothers and sisters, members of the human family, far away, we want to share with them everything we can to bring about their well-being, their life, their well-being in body and soul, and eventually the promise of heaven.